At the end of the Cretaceous period, hundreds of giant prehistoric creatures roamed across the lands of the blue planet. Armored dinosaurs fought to defend against fierce two-legged predators. Flying reptiles soared through the sky, while giant marine animals dominated the estuaries and oceans on Earth. But why do the giant creatures of the Cretaceous period no longer exist in the world today? What happened to them? Lasting 79 million years, the Cretaceous period is the third geological period in the Mesozoic era. Long before the Cretaceous, our prehistoric planet already had many dinosaurs, pterosaurs, and other giant reptiles. The Triassic and Jurassic periods stimulated strong evolutionary development, nurturing massive and diverse reptile populations. Many Cretaceous dinosaurs evolved during the Triassic and Jurassic periods, as did the first mammals and flying vertebrates. Near the end of the Triassic, the Earth experienced a major mass extinction, known as the Triassic-Jurassic extinction event. Nearly one-third of marine life disappeared, but giant reptiles remained the rulers of our prehistoric planet. Their reign expanded through the Jurassic and into the Cretaceous period as many larger animals appeared on Earth. Throughout the Mesozoic era, the planet changed rapidly. About 200 million years ago, all 7 of today's major landmasses were merged into a supercontinent called Pangaea. There were no geographical barriers. Creatures were free to roam between North America and Australia. But in the early Jurassic period, Pangaea began to break apart. The Americas drifted west, the Eurasian continent moved east, and vast oceans developed in the expanding spaces between. The world was no longer a unified, interconnected system. Instead, separate landmasses with distinct climates and terrains developed unique ecosystems. There were thousands of new species, including angiosperms, flowering plants, pollinating insects, and some of the largest reptiles ever to appear on Earth. On every vast landmass, sauropods, a group of giant dinosaurs with long necks adapted for eating the highest leaves, flourished. Titanosaurs were among the largest and heaviest animals in history. For some species, their size could reach over 25 meters from head to tail. Argentinosaurus was one of the largest titanosaurs. They weighed up to 75 tons and were capable of intimidating other dinosaurs with their superior size and strength. In the western United States, there existed another giant herbivore named Triceratops. It possessed enough strength to fight off the largest carnivores. Triceratops had 2 horns on its face and a bony frill at the back of its head. Like modern rams and bulls, this giant herbivore frequently clashed with members of its own species. They smashed their horns and frills into each other in the fiercest battles to establish dominance and territory. Triceratops was not the only armored herbivore in the Cretaceous. In the United States and parts of Canada, ornithischian dinosaurs like Ankylosaurus had rows of wedge-shaped bones protruding like spikes on their bodies. On its tail, Ankylosaurus featured a giant club, which could break the bones of other dinosaurs. To feed on these giant, heavily armored herbivores, predators had to fight with all their might, and sometimes paid a heavy price for each meal. Very few apex predators had an advantage over Tyrannosaurus rex, also known as the tyrant lizard king. This bipedal predator could exceed 12 meters in length from head to tail and stood 4 meters tall at the hips. The Tyrannosaurus rex hunted on the plains of North America. Although its direct ancestors may have migrated from Asia, scientists estimate that the Tyrannosaurus rex had the strongest bite force of any terrestrial animal. With its bone-crushing jaws, the T-Rex fought and killed dinosaurs of all shapes and sizes. But Tyrannosaurus rex was not the largest carnivore in the Cretaceous period. Lurking in the rivers and swamps of North Africa, Spinosaurus was a semi-aquatic carnivore. They ate ancient sharks, sawfish, and coelacanths. With a narrow snout, long arms, and a fin-like tail, Spinosaurus reached up to 15 meters in length. It was larger than the biggest Tyrannosaurus rex ever discovered. Spinosaurus gets its name from a bony protrusion on its back that formed a sail. This bone structure nearly doubled the Spinosaurus's height. This helped them display their power to prey and deter other predators intending to attack. While the Tyrannosaurus rex roamed the prehistoric grasslands and plains, the Spinosaurus attacked any creature that came too close to the water's edge. And even in the sky, there were flying reptiles, known as the patrolling pterosaurs, Quetzalcoatlus. These aerodynamic creatures were among the earliest vertebrates to evolve powered flight. Often mistaken for giant birds, pterosaurs were close relatives of dinosaurs, dominating the skies throughout most of the Mesozoic era. Some pterosaur species had modest sizes, only as big as a house cat, while others were much larger. Some species were the size of a modern fighter jet. They were like the embodiment of death, swooping down on marine creatures, mammals, and small dinosaurs. As the positions of the Earth's major landmasses shifted, seas and oceans developed in the gaps between continents. These waters were just as dangerous as the land and sky. Some ocean predators died out during the Triassic-Jurassic extinction event, but one of the largest marine reptiles still lurked beneath the waves. Mosasaurus was an apex predator with crocodilian jaws. Growing up to 17 meters long and highly adapted to the marine environment, they hunted sharks, cephalopods, and other marine reptiles. Mosasaurus was considered the terror of the deep sea, reminiscent of sea monsters in myths and legends. While the Cretaceous period was dominated by a terrifying group of giant reptiles, the longest surviving species were neither giant nor terrifying. They were not armored dinosaurs or towering dinosaurs, but rather countless species of small plants and animals, such as pollinating insects. The first insects evolved about 400 million years ago. Wasps appeared before the Mesozoic era, but the first bees did not evolve until the early Cretaceous. Next came the angiosperms, or the earliest flowering plants, which were sustained by the proliferation of diverse flowers and wasps. Ants, grasshoppers, aphids, and termites also thrived in the Cretaceous, feeding on fruits and insects. Rodents and marsupials also flourished throughout the Cretaceous. Hiding in burrows, nests, and the dark corners of the forest, the ancestors of modern mammals escaped the notice of the massive dinosaurs. At the end of the Cretaceous, giant reptiles shook the earth, but it was these diverse and inconspicuous animals that would transform the planet. About 66 million years ago, our global ecosystem changed forever. At the end of the Cretaceous, a mass extinction known as the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event wiped out about 75% of all life on Earth. It is highly likely that an asteroid struck the Yucatan Peninsula off the coast of modern-day Mexico. Dust and debris flew into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight from warming the Earth's surface. Consequently, this restricted the growth of life-giving plants. Toxic clouds of vaporized rock suffocated most dinosaurs, and the global food web quickly collapsed. The Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event eradicated all non-avian dinosaurs, but many species still survived, such as smaller reptiles. Mammals, plants, and fungi grew on decaying organic matter. These species would thrive in the Cenozoic era. They evolved into the millions of plant and animal species we know today. Most of the giant reptiles disappeared 66 million years ago. They have become a part of history, legendary animals worthy of our deep study, possessing unparalleled strength, size, and ferocity. Today, their relatives and descendants still roam the earth. but the late Cretaceous remains the last great age of monsters.